Wow. This video is sponsored by Saal Digital. Oh. Wow. That was terrifying. Eight years ago, me and my partner visited Handa Island. I had an old DSLR and a cheap lens, but there was nothing wrong with the gear. You can make great images with any kind of budget gear. It was me. I didn't know how to get the best out of my camera, but more importantly, I didn't really understand how to make an image. I basically walked the entire route to the island, taking snapshots as I went along. I didn't take time to try and improve an image or understand the species that I was photographing to try and predict their behavior. One thing I do remember though is how magical this island was. Birds that I normally ever saw were all around me. And earlier this month, 8 years since I'd last been to Handa, I got a chance to go back and I wanted to improve on those images. I arrived at Tarbet early to get the first ferry over to Handa. In 2023 when I visited, the ferry was £20 and you need to remember to bring cash. The island was last inhabited in 1847 when the potato famine hit and the 64 inhabitants emigrated to Nova Scotia. Earlier, Handa Island has been reported to be used as a burial ground by the people of Arctic on the mainland. As people would say, the wolves would dig up the local graves. Thus every grave we dug, the hungry wolf uptore, and every morn the sod was strewn with bones and gore. Our Mother Earth had denied us rest on Arctic shore. Handa Island, cliff faces reaching up to 100 meters from the sea, 109 hectares, and regularly supports over 200,000 seabirds. The island has been run by RSPB for 25 years and now by the Scottish Wildlife Trust. So the utmost care is taken to keep disturbance from people at a minimum, but still allow us access to experience this wildlife paradise. On this trip, I was faced with a dilemma that I think almost every wildlife photographer has faced at some point. Do you move around and try and see and photograph as many species as you can, or do you stay in one spot waiting for a behavior that may or may not happen to try and get one really good image? So I am on Handa Island off the northwest coast of Scotland, and it is an absolutely amazing place for birds. I've been here once before, but it's been years ago. So what I thought could be kind of cool is I'm going to show some photos from back then when I really didn't know much about taking an image, or rather making an image of any kind of animal. It was more point, shoot, hope for the best, not really thinking about backgrounds, not really thinking about composition. There's something about landing on an island like this. It just has a different feel to it, because there aren't really people here except for us visiting it, a couple of rangers, and then it's just the wildlife. I absolutely love it. It's just something you feel when you arrive here. I had a snipe just fly past me. There's skuas flying, landing quite close to me. It's just, they behave very different, I find, when they're on an island. There's an Arctic Skua sitting right over there. Absolutely amazing. Incredible. There are skuas circling above, and what we were told by the rangers who came here was that they might go for our heads. Not in a very dangerous way apparently, just as let us know this is their ground. trying to get some photos, but I'm also waiting till they go a little bit lower so I can get my background as the land or the greener bits here. I don't like just the white sky as the background. Maybe when it's a bit darker and I get those mountains in the back over there, that would be cool. But just white background in the sky is not very, doesn't look very good in the end. So I'm hoping to catch them as they go lower in the sky, and I can get these kind of green hills here as my background.
When a bird bombards like this, it's only because it wants you away from the nesting area. So this is not a time to stop and take photos and disturb them more. Just keep walking until a safe distance away and the birds will stop.
That's crazy. Wow. Almost got pooped on as well. Jeez. I was gonna say they're circling like vultures, but vultures are not that aggressive. They're right over my head. Wow. Unbelievable.
It's important to keep in mind that we are invading on the bird's space on an island like this, and we need to be respectful and keep within the marked paths and follow directions from the rangers. On an island like this, it's always a delicate balance to keep disturbance of the breeding birds to a minimum, but also to let people experience these natural havens, to remind people what we have lost and are losing daily by our ever-continued commercial expansion and loss of natural habitats.
It's one of those questions you have to ask yourself a lot of time in photography. Do you wait for the one good image that you might not even get? Or do you walk around and take a bunch of average ones? Ooh.
Do you print your images? I love nothing more than printing my favorite images and hanging them up on the wall. Mostly I like to print on fine art paper, but my biggest fan, my mom, she often likes to have my photos printed on other material. The sponsor of this video is Saal Digital, and they offer a variety of ways to print your work. So today I'm going to check out their wall decor section and print on metal. First, search Saal Digital or use my link in the description below. And if you go to order now, it prompts you to download a software, which makes the whole experience really easy and straightforward. We're going to go to wall art, and I'm going to go for metal print. Choose the format that you want, or you can enter a custom format. Simply drag and drop the photo, and make sure that you drag it all the way over the edges. Choose if you want a subframe. I'm going to go with a white floating frame for this one, because I think it'll look kind of cool with a very dark image that I've chosen. Okay, proceed to checkout, and let's wait for it to arrive. Super happy with the quality of this print. Thank you to Saal Digital for sponsoring this video. This red-throated diver is a Schedule 1 species, and it's illegal to photograph near the nest. However, I was assured by the rangers, as this pair has chosen to nest near the footpath, that it was okay to stay behind the barriers and take photos.
I've been here for over 3 hours. I just got 2 goes at the red-throated diver flying towards me. I haven't even looked at the images yet, but what an experience. Amazing. I was so happy. So, when you're out and about in wildlife photography, there are a lot of times you gotta ask yourself this question. When you find a good situation, do you sit down and wait for that magic image that may or may not happen, or do you walk around and maybe just get a bunch of average ones? I know what I'd rather do, and I've had a fantastic time here. Just spent over 3 hours in this one spot, watching the divers, just waiting for that magic moment, and it all coming together. So happy, so happy. For the reward of having sat still so long, my family just came over and brought some quick lunch for Norway. I gotta give a shout out to Fred. He was already sitting there when I came, started chatting. We sat there and waited for probably almost 3 hours for that diver to come back. And the great thing about this, it was, we had the wind from behind us going into the birds. It was just very likely that a bigger bird like that is going to take off into the wind. Absolutely magical. It does mean that I've almost spent the entire day on Handa by that little rock, but I wouldn't trade that experience for the world. That was amazing.